On Tuesday of this week, Donald Trump traveled to the kind of battleground state of Georgia that he is currently winning by a couple points, but Harris actually does have the opportunity to take the state from him. But that's not what we're talking about here. Trump went to Georgia and showed a whole crowd how his cognitive state is clearly not a good one. Multiple times throughout the rally, Donald Trump mispronounced words. At one point, he called Charlottesville Charlottetown. So, there's that. But then there was just a collection of odd moments that happened all throughout the rally that shouldn't have left anyone confident in Donald Trump's mental faculties. Let me read a couple of these. These are some quotes that Donald Trump said during the rally. The word tariff, properly used, is a beautiful word. One of the most beautiful words I've ever heard. It's music to my ears. So he's got words. It's a beautiful word. He likes the word. It's a good word. Why not use that word? Weird, okay? That is the only beautiful word to describe the way he's talking. He then straight up lied to the crowd and said, "We did so much. We gave you before the biggest tax hikes in the history of our country." So this man's bragging about raising taxes. And furthermore, no, you didn't even do that. Like you lowered taxes. Everybody knows that. The 2017 tax scam, as it was called, was nothing more than a repeat of the failed trickle-down economics that Republicans have been shoving down our throats for 40 years. Even after the tax package was passed, Republicans were polled, they were put in focus groups, they were spoken to by the media, and they all agreed, yeah, this doesn't work, this sucks, it was a bad deal. So, not only did you not raise taxes like you're bragging about, but you lowered taxes for millionaires and billionaires in a way that pissed off conservatives, which of course is why you're now lying to those same people, and unfortunately, they believe him. If he says it, it must be true, because as they have clearly told us, Donald Trump never lies. He then, because we're not even close to being done, folks, he then went on to claim that California is plagued by, quote, blackouts and brownouts that and they're experiencing, as he says, 1 every 10 seconds. 1 every 10 seconds. If you're in California, anywhere in California, I guess, every 10 seconds, your power goes out. And then it comes back on for 10 seconds, and then it goes out again because the state of California is just struggling with energy right now to the point where Trump added that they weren't even allowed to run their air conditioners in the summer. And for the record, just in case I need to point this out, that's not true. Literally none of that happened. And it's certainly not happening every 10 seconds. Here's the thing, folks, and trust me, there's more I'll get to in a minute. If these things were happening, do you not think you'd hear about it? I mean, even if you don't know somebody in California, you know somebody, you're friends with them on Facebook that knows somebody. You watch the news, you read, you would have heard about these things. And it's not because the media is trying to suppress it that you haven't heard of it. It's because he's literally making things up. I talked about a story a couple days ago. I can't even remember if it was here or over at Ring of Fire, but Donald Trump's complete just insanity is causing him to create a completely fake story on average once every 2.5 days. Over the last month, every 2.5 days, he has created completely out of thin air a new story. So I guess right now, the new fake story that he's created is that Californians are losing power every 10 seconds. And it gets worse because those were all weird things, right? You can write those off as just weird or maybe just lies, but you cannot write off what I'm about to show you as anything other than a man that has lost his damn mind. Here is what Donald Trump did in the middle of his rally that left people scratching their heads. Take a look.
In history, right? I have a chart that's my all-time favorite. I love that. Is it around? Is it around? that chart. I sleep with that chart every night. I kiss it. I love it. Because that chart saved my life. I look to the right. Bing. If I didn't...
So he's got a chart. Doesn't know where the chart is. Maybe the chart's behind him. And he starts wandering off. And then when he can't find the chart that he knew was not behind him, I'm going to hug nothing. I'm going to literally mimic a hug of what I'm doing to this chart that he admits that he is also sleeping with. And I hope to God he just means sleeping next to and not the more adult version of sleeping with. But I wouldn't put anything past him there. But that's not normal. Okay, this is well beyond weird. That is a man who has lost his marbles. If you had seen a politician do that 10 years ago, that would have been the end of their career. You would have had their own party coming out and saying, listen, we don't know what the hell he did, but we're all sitting here advising him to go seek help. We have lined up some counselors that he can call. We're going to bring some in. That's what would have happened 10, 15 years ago. But now the Republicans and even most of the people in that crowd look at that like, yes, this is a very fine and normal thing to happen in the middle of a speech. You just start wandering off and then hug air because that's how mentally incompetent you are. And they all just look at it as a completely normal occurrence. And I wish that were the end of it. Sadly, it is not. Because Donald Trump also claimed that not only are Venezuelans taking over parts of Aurora, Colorado. Oh, no. That's just what the fake media is reporting. According to Donald Trump, Venezuelan gangs have taken over most of Colorado. He said, they're going to take over a lot more than Aurora. They're going to go through Colorado, take over the whole damn state, unless I become president. Now, there are reports, and there are also contradictory reports, that say that a Venezuelan gang has in fact taken over one apartment complex in Colorado. And there's other reports saying, no, they didn't take it over. They're having a dispute with the landlord who is not doing the things that the landlord needs to be doing. So there's conflicting reports, but even if it is 100% true that they've taken over an apartment complex, they have not taken over a city. They haven't even taken over a whole block. Okay. So that's just insanity. And again, still not the end of it, because we have his ranting about McDonald's that he loves. And he says he's going to go work there. Here's what he said. Talking about Kamala Harris. She lied about McDonald's. She said, I was a worker in McDonald's and I stood over the French fries. I'm going to a McDonald's over the next 2 weeks and I'm going to stand over the French fries because I want to see what her job really wasn't like. Jesus Christ. First of all, it's not even how you would say that, but yeah, I have no doubt you're going to be going to McDonald's a lot in the next 2 weeks, probably not to work. And also, for the record, as somebody who spent the first 2 years of my working life working at a McDonald's, from the day I turned 15 until I was into my 17 years, I worked at McDonald's. It was not, the most grueling job I've ever had, but it also was not easy at times. So, especially, for a person who this is the first job they've ever had, which is what Kamala Harris talks about. So for this 78-year-old alleged billionaire to be like, I'm going to go work the fries and see how hard it is not. Like, you're an a-hole. That's like your favorite restaurant and you're immediately demeaning all of the people that work there and anyone like myself that has ever worked there. There's a great quote from the old Drew Carey show, and I love it, and I think about it all the time. My first job was at a McDonald's. My last job will probably be at a McDonald's. And that's kind of how I feel with my life too. But nevertheless, that aside, all of this put together paints the picture of a man that is not mentally stable. This is a man who has no idea what he's going to say when he gets on stage. He has no bearings. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about anything. And for some reason, everyone in that audience and every elected Republican leader is looking at that as if all of it were just completely normal, just another day in the life of crazy old Donald Trump. It is so much worse than that. And the voters need to understand that before they cast their votes in November. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.